Then when I read a story about two Afghan girls, sisters.
Mm,
One was
mm,
9, one was 13.
mm,
One was named Parwana, and her name means butterfly, which is why I love
mm,
the metaphor of the butterfly and the
mm,
metamorphosis. And her sister's name is Khorshid, which means the
mm,
sun. And they were killed in a suicide bomb attack by the Taliban. That was September 8th, 2012.
mm,
And I just felt such a loss of words. And I mean, I've been reading so many stories about children and people living in poverty and war. And for some reason, this one just took it to another level.
mm,
And I just put it out there. Like, I just feel like I got to meet this family. And so I met somebody who said, come on over and I'll take you to meet them. So I went to meet them, and one of their sisters, who was 8 at the time of this attack. And of course, in addition to that, in this article, they talked about some veterans that knew the girls. And they wrote, this one in particular named Brad Pupello wrote a beautiful article about them and how just they were brave and incredible. And they were like his best friends, and just a
mm,
horrible loss. And so I contacted Brad, and you can imagine him and I really was difficult getting a hold of him. And then when I said, hey, I used to be on this TV show, Full House, then he's like, someone's not going to make something up about that. And so he was pretty impressed by that. But impressed by the fact that this weird musician would want to go to Afghanistan to meet the family of these girls from a story that he wrote.
mm,
And he was actually at our benefits as well, and he spoke. And we got some great footage of him talking about the girls too, when my friend of mine came out and shot some footage. But so I go up there to this really poor, really dangerous area. Now, of course, I don't really, I wouldn't do it now because I wouldn't want to put somebody else at risk. But
mm,
at that point, I didn't know any better. So I go up and I meet the family, and it was just profound.
mm.
And the mother,
I understand.
very complex story, but initially it was very pure, very beautiful. But different people handle their trauma in different ways.
Mhm,
So at this point, it was a mother. The mother had 12 children. 6 of them have died either because of war or poverty. The husband was a very violent man. He ended up leaving the family. He was an opium addict, and so they were up in this area where they were living in a one room place, no kitchen, no running water, no bathroom, nothing. And so I just said, what can I do? And she said, well, you can, get us another house and, get my children into school. And so I had brought a guitar with me, and the sister that survived that attack said, are you going to be my teacher? And I guess that's like where I came back, and I was doing one of my little meditative walks where I lived in Long Beach, California. And that's when Girl with a Guitar popped into my head, because I had already thought of Miraculous Love Kids when I met the kids, but this one was like, because the rights of girls over there is abominable. It was abominable before the Taliban. Now it's untenable. They're like in the biggest prison in the world right now in Afghanistan, basically. Millions and millions of girls over there. So, that's kind of how that organically all came to be. So I went back. The first time I went there was March 6th, 2014. March 8th, when I met this girl, Mursal, who was the survivor of that attack, who's killed her sisters, that was International Women's Day. So it was like, wow, that was a pretty cosmic moment. And I was a short trip, 5-day trip. And so I come back, I don't know how to, I've never done the fundraising thing before. My friend Todd does all that. And I was just coming over, to help him. And he's like, man, you got to do your own thing now. And so I just did a GoFundMe, and we raised $10,000. And then I had no contact with the family because they didn't have a phone, and they don't speak, any English, and I didn't speak any Dari. So, when I came back June of 2015 was so that was about 15 months. I had the money and I said, you guys ready to move? And the next day we moved them into a new place, paid for it for a year, got them registered in school. I mean, $10,000. I mean, then I gave them, I give them 200 a month. So that was, whatever, 2,500 plus paid 2,500. So 5,000 in the school. So that took care of them for, about a year and a half.